Hey, Husker Nation, Jessica Cooney here with you, and excited to introduce you to the new offensive line coach, Geep Wade. Geep, thank you so much for being here, and welcome to Lincoln.
I appreciate it. It's an honor to be here.
How has the last few weeks been for you?
Oh, it's been fast. It's been fun. It's the change is good. You know, everybody needs change, like I told the kids. So I was ready for the change. So I'm excited to be here.
Coach Rule had talked about how he's known of you and you for a long time. What's been your perspective of Coach Rule and seeing what he's done?
He's elite. He's a winner. He's a great human being. He's a great coach, a motivator, and I've always kind of been drawn to him. Used to go visit him all the time. You know, he's been an O-line coach at times too. So, I've studied him and we used to visit him a lot when he was at Temple and all the success he had there, and I always followed his career and. I told him the other day it's an honor to work for him.
So when you start having those conversations about potentially taking over here, what was it about him and Nebraska that you felt like you could come here and do what he was looking for in an O-line coach?
Well, I'm in my mid-40s, so I grew up in the 90s when Nebraska was, I used to be a Tennessee fan, and growing up, I grew up in Tennessee, so, Nebraska was the top offensive line school in the country. So when he called, and I was like, yes, I didn't even think twice.
Wow.
Just because of that, the tradition, the stigma, the offensive line, I want to be a part of that.
Pipeline, right?
Yeah, I've heard that word. I want to be the best here. I want to be the best offensive line coach in the country. I want to recruit the best, and we can do it here. I mean, so we're not going to take a backseat to anybody.
So you obviously played the position, but what drew you into coaching? Why did you want to get into coaching?
We're all competitors. I knew my sophomore year in high school, I was a marketing major or something. I knew I couldn't live without the game, and us coaches, we can't live without the game, and we compete just like the players compete on game day. We compete in recruiting. We compete through game planning. We compete to, developing our players. So I just couldn't live without the game. Can't live without the game. Bottom line.
So when you start taking over an offensive line room, what are some of those principles, hey, these are musts, we have to play like this in an O-line room?
Well, I tell these guys when I first got here, you don't have to have talent to be the toughest unit in the country and play the hardest. So that's, and I told these guys too, and I was out of coaching for a year during COVID, so kind of changed my life. Then I went to App State and then Georgia Southern, Georgia Southern, App State, and then Georgia Tech. I learned a lot, along the way there of the type of kids you recruit, the toughness, the mental toughness supersedes physical toughness. You play in the Big Ten for 14 straight weeks. It's not easy. So you got to have kids that love football, love life, love to fight through adversity. And, that's something that I told these kids, I'm going to coach you. I'm not going to yell at you if your hand placement's wrong, but if you're not giving me effort or this team effort, that's when we might have an issue.
In terms of development, how important is that, especially with the offensive line?
Huge. We just hired Coach Teasley. So you guys got to think, if I'm on the road in January, he's here with the guys. When I'm on the road spring recruiting, he's here with the guys. So you have to have assistance, and I'm so excited to have him, and so excited Coach Rule wants to put the emphasis on the offensive line. So that's another reason I was here, because you can't do it alone anymore. You can't, and that's something I've learned. So development is big through January to August for an offensive lineman.
The stats from what your offensive line was able to do at Georgia Tech are really impressive, some of the best in the country. But it's not just you could look at one, either passing, protecting the quarterback, or rushing, but it was both. What goes into creating a versatile offensive line that can both run the football and protect the quarterback?
Guys that strain, play hard. We make this game too complicated. Hit people in the mouth, love contact. I tell people all the time, my group, and I've said it 100 times here, effort gets you in trouble when you don't have it, and it gets you out of trouble when you have it. So, we talked about like, hey, you do get beat on protection, but the effort to keep them off the quarterback, the nastiness. So that's what I'm big into. That's what I would think Nebraska was like back in the day too.
So how have you gone about developing your philosophy and how you like to approach coaching?
Through recruiting. Through recruiting the guys that I love to be around. My group at Georgia Tech, there wasn't a day I walked in there where I didn't feel like I was at work through the guys, and I've kind of felt that here. These guys getting to know them. So it's through recruiting. It's a gut feeling when you recruit somebody that that kid's tough. He wants to be at Nebraska. I think that matters. I think, the kid that, There's a lot of kids when you recruit you guys, people don't understand that the game gets too big for them. It's 4th and 1 in that stadium against Ohio State. Some kids aren't ready for that. You got to recruit the guys that are mentally ready for that.
Coach Rule talked about how great of a recruiter you are. How do you go about that and developing those kinds of relationships where guys want to come play for you?
Well, I get to sell this product, so this makes me excited. And then, like I tell people all the time, I told Coach Rule, I don't care who's offered anybody. We're not backing down to anybody in the country. So I really feel that if we can get them on campus here, we'll have a great shot.
What about just your overall throughout the years? How have you gone about finding what works for offensive line? I mean, who have you watched, studied? Has there been certain instances throughout the years that you've thought, okay, the offensive lines that play the best do this?
Well, I think it was the year I was out of coaching. I kind of sat down, and a lot of coaches worry about things that don't matter, or guys want to recruit guys just to say they recruited somebody that's not the right fit for that school. That's where I've changed. I recruit the guys that I truly believe in, that are just the mental toughness. I can't keep saying that enough. And the guys that'll fight, the guys that love Nebraska, the guys that will die for Nebraska, the guys that, when they come here, they have that feeling of what this place used to be. So that's kind of, I've learned a lot. The last couple of years of who I want to be. I tell young coaches all the time, you can go learn too much and not get good at anything. I tell our kids all the time, if there was a 3 technique in front of me and I'm a right guard, every time I've asked him the base spot guy 10 times, his hand's going to be different 10 times. It's going to be different. So we worry about the wrong things rather than, put your face on him and drive him. So that's kind of where I've changed a little bit.
Who are some of your biggest mentors in this game?
Well, I used to study Coach Rule when he was an O-line coach back at the Giants in Temple, and I used to go visit with him all the time. Every spring break was sat. We've been friends for a long time. I GA'd for Coach Philip Fulmer at Tennessee back 20 years ago, and learned a lot of football there from him. I think he was one of the best growing up. I actually learned a lot from Sean Clark, who just passed away at Central Florida. I don't know if you've heard that name. He was my head football coach at App, but he was the O-line coach there forever. So I've worked for like all these O-line coaches. Like I'm the only person in the country that's worked for 2 to 3 to, now Rule, I count him as an O-line coach. And then Brent Key at Georgia Tech. Brent coached at Alabama. And Brent really brought me a little bit more cerebral thought to coaching the offensive line. So, I've kind of morphed into kind of what I believe in and don't stray from that. And that's kind of who I've become today.
What are your goals, I guess, your immediate goals, and then more of a long-term here, just leading into spring football?
Well, my immediate goal is to earn the trust of the group, the coaching staff, and then I want the Nebraska faithful to see a group play harder than anybody in the country, and then I want to be the best here. I want to recruit the best. I know it's going to take a little time. You can't do everything overnight, but with Coach Rule's passion and energy for this place, and he recruits and he's nonstop and he's elite. Like I want to be the best. I want to have the best unit in the country, the best offense in the country, and that's my only goal.
Great stuff. Appreciate your time again. Welcome to Lincoln.
I appreciate you guys.